Hello, everyone. How's it going? It is Sunday, September 8th. Sunday, September 8th. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. Now, I'm going to give a disclosure real quick, just in case. The Buffalo Bills are playing. No, that's not my team, but it is my husband's team. And you may hear screaming. You may hear some profanity. You may even hear some banging that just sounds like the whole house is coming down. But not to worry. That's just him in the other room cheering on his team or actually beating up his team, one or the other. So it's been up and down today. Buffalo Bills started off 17-0. Arizona was winning. Shh. I'm an Eagles fan, so you know. I'm sitting back and I'm relaxing. But long story short, he has been loud at times and quiet at others. Sandy, how are you? Judith, how are you? So let me bring on Princess Tia and we can start talking about our cross-stitch conversion for the week. Tia, how are you?
Hello. Can you hear me?
You having fun yet? Are we? Oh, that's my favorite painting behind you. Everybody, wait a minute. That painting that's behind Tia. I love it.
I'm gonna have to one of these days send to you the video. Maybe if I send it now, you'll be able to show it. But it's a video where it's a little bit more up close that I did.
Send it over. I love it.
And the video itself will probably, because this was my first foray into like blinging. I swapped out a lot. For me, it was a lot. I think I swapped out 15 colors and added in bling. And this was her first edition. And then she recreated and recharted and she cut off a lot of the bottom and just left the top.
So it's beautiful.
It is.
But not only did you enhance it, you changed some of the coloring, like her skin tone.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell it's beautiful. Oh my goodness.
I did do I downloaded the skin tone charts. I wanted her, and I've done that a lot. Because I'm not big on portraits. I usually do landscapes, and so I did this one. I just wanted the paintings to look a little bit more like me. It's great. But when we come to my house, if it's gonna be on a wall or something like that, it should at least look like we related.
It's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I love it.
So I definitely, I checked because you have to think of shadowing. And something that I didn't take into consideration was the makeup. The tint on the makeup needs to match the skin tone as well. So, I'm a work in progress. I love the skin tone and how it came out. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and get this loaded over to you. And
send it on over. It's gorgeous.
So how have you been?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a crazy week, but you know what? Yesterday, when I say a crazy week, work was very hectic. And I'm gonna tell you guys, my voice, I don't know what happened, but Thursday night, I was fine. I woke up Friday with this new voice. I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on here? I don't have a cold, I'm not sick, I don't feel bad. I just have this raspy voice all of a sudden. And it's so weird because last week I was listening to myself. I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. And I was talking to my mother and I was like, I need to change my voice, Mom. I don't like the way I sound on that video. I need to get a little deeper or something. I was looking at something that I did for work. And I said to myself that I need to do something a little bit different when I'm trying to broadcast because this voice of mine just wasn't working. And then I woke up with this voice on Friday. I swear, I feel like I brung it on to myself. I don't know what it is. It's just the weirdest thing ever. But I have like this raspy voice and I don't know. So we'll see how long it lasts. But it's been since Friday morning. And people at work is like, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes it cracks. I'm like, maybe I can sing now.
Hear it.
Maybe I can sing. But no.
Texture to your
that didn't work. That didn't work. That didn't work. I was like, maybe I can sing. Let me see. No,
we welcome it.
So other than that, I've been good. I had a chance to sit down and diamond paint Friday for a little bit, like 2 hours. And then yesterday I had a chance to diamond paint. Now I didn't work too much on the cross stitch conversion, just a little, but I worked on my Howl at the Moon.
Hey, Brian.
Diamond painting. Hey, Brian. Thanks for coming in. I did work on How with the Moon, so I did get a chance to sit down and relax myself and get some diamond painting in. So that was a lot of fun. How about you?
I have not been working on my diamond painting. I've been off screens. I was off screens for 2 weeks. I think I talked to you guys about that. I had the scratch pointing. I had scratched it twice. And the
Yeah.
second time, yeah, when I scratched it the second time, it was very painful and things. So I had just started just kind of lounging, not doing much, just keeping my eyes closed. I was on 2 eye drops that they had gave to me because something was bothering me in the back of my eye. It felt like inside, like I needed to take my eyeball out. And so at night, I think I was rubbing and trying to dig to get to, you know how you got an itch, you need to scratch. Um,
Yes.
mhm. So the one medicine that they gave me, it worked. Like I don't feel the stinging. That was the second painting I was gonna show y'all.
Oh,
I don't feel the stinging or anything anymore. So I definitely, feel like it worked and things like that.
okay.
Um, then they gave me another one. It had an antihistamine in it. I've never heard of that for an eye drop. And they said it pulls like mucus and other things. It kind of pulls them out. And so if there was an infection or something behind there, that would help by pulling mucus and things. So hopefully,
Feeling better?
I am feeling a lot better.
Good.
I'm out looking around, using my eyes. Before I was like real gun shy to use
Gotcha.
my eye and things. So I'm using my eyes. I'm watching stuff. I hadn't been watching a lot of programs. I was off screen. I hadn't been on social media a lot. I was doing what the doctor said for
There
once.
you go. There you go. You'll get there. So, full disclaimer, everybody, if you hear some noise in the background, my husband is watching football. His team is playing, which is the Buffalo Bills, and they must be winning right now because he's quiet. So, if you guys hear something, that I have to go remind him that I'm on live. I might have to make him come in here, but the whole room will go dark because he's like a ball fighter when he comes in. You
So
got
this is
Tia.
the painting that y'all saw. This is the labor of love, I call it. It's actually called One Fine Day by Liam Kelly. And when I first did it, shout out to her. She reached out to me, like she follows me, and she watched my progress as I completed this. And so that was great that she was reaching out, leaving me messages, sending me notes and things on the canvas itself. So I wanted to show you guys this. Um, I'm hoping you can see it.
Oh, I love it, Tia. Yes, we can see it. It's gorgeous.
So some of the things that I tried to do in this canvas. First, I don't know if you can see all the sparkle. Let me try and get up a little bit closer. If you
Oh,
can
yeah, I
see
can see it.
in the cherry blossoms, that's
Yes, it's,
all blinged out.
oh,
This
it's
was back
gorgeous.
when they might have offered one bling, and the cherry blossoms weren't it.
Oh,
So
wow.
as I moved the canvas from left to right, one of the things that I tried to do was show movement. And so that is what you hear me saying sometimes when I say things like I was trying to show breeze in the trees.
Yes, it's gorgeous. And the
So
water, I can see it in the water.
water, I wanted the water to look wet.
Yes, and it does.
So that was important. Like I want the water to look wet. It was important. I wanted the forest to look really eerie, scary, like off in there, ethereal.
Oh, yeah, that's gorgeous. Now, how big is that, Tia? That's huge.
It's 142 by 120. I said 142. 120 by 40.
And is that a Dreamer design or DAC?
Yeah,
Dreamer
this
design.
is a dream size canvas, and it might still be up there. I can't remember if it's still there or not.
That's gorgeous. Now, Tia, when you were thinking about the bling there, like what made you choose what you chose? Like if you start with the cherry blossom trees, what made you choose that particular bling?
So the reason why I chose this, I did start with a color variation of what was already on the pattern. So I didn't do a complete like swap out of a color at all. What I did was I wanted to, for me, I felt like how do I create a breeze? So I know that there's going to need to be some dull lights and some highlights, just so that we had something to pick up on. Crystals will pull color, it kind of pulls shine, it just kind of holds it there. And then the sparklers, they add the, you know, the bling and that luminescence look to it. So what I ended up knowing that I was going to have to do to get the look I was trying to get is I had to do some crystals along with sparklers, and then I did ABs. So when you're going across for the cherry blossoms to get that look that you see,
Yes.
that's how I was able to do it. I had
Oh,
to,
that's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. And
and
then
I,
if you look at the rooftop,
mhm.
kind of what you did there, that I like I like what you did there.
So that also I swapped out. I think I did. I used a lot more ABs because I don't use a lot of ABs now.
Mm-hmm.
I love sparklers and I love glow glass. Those are my go-tos. And then I might add crystals in because I like how crystals will like it gives you a nice color, transparency, but it's not brilliant. And
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like it's just holding the color there, but not so plainly as like the resin diamonds. And
Got
so
it.
crystals for me, they just push up really nicely against sparkler. And if you add an AB to it, I feel like a crystal, it just helps with that effect.
It's
So
gorgeous. It's
I was
gorgeous. And if you go to the windows in the house, right? What did you do there in the windows?
some of them like in here, I put in glow glass
Mm-hmm.
because again, I was trying to. That's my phone. Sorry about that. I was trying to give it just an ethereal, like so I had when I first saw it, my mom saw the canvas, the plain portion, and she
Mm-hmm.
said, "Oh, I'd like to move into that house." I said, "You move into a house that's in a spooky, eerie, ethereal forest?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "When I get done with this, you're not gonna want to move in. I'm gonna make it look like so ethereal and so what could be going on in these woods." And
It's
so that's
gorgeous.
that's why you see the roof. That's why I added, a little
Mm-hmm.
added glow glass to the light post. And then I really went all out trying to make the forest, the entrance to it, just look like should I go in there? What's going in there? What's spewing? Is there
Yes.
a spell amok?
They
So
did an excellent job. It looks great. And I'll tell you one thing, I love the way the sky looks. And skies can get very hard when you're
they
trying to
can.
bling. And I love how you blended that color. And hopefully, if we get Sue, Sue's supposed to be our special guest today. She did some great stuff in the sky on one of her paintings. But I like how you blended sort of the pinks and the purples and the blues. Because when you see sky, you just think blue, but it's not.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
no, this is something that we're supposed to just be real. I just wanted it to be real mystical,
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. I remember the first sky that I tried, which skies were hard for me, but the first one I tried, it looked like the ocean because I just thought blue. Let me just put blue. And I was like, nope, it's not the ocean. After I finished, because I love blue, guys, and I put it down, I said, oh, when I stepped back, I was like, oh, I got the ocean in the sky. I need to change all that out. And don't be afraid to change. And I just plucked it all
Definitely.
out and changed it because it didn't look right. It looked like the birds was flying in the ocean. And it didn't look like they were swimming. They was flying in the ocean. But my blues were too deep. But it wasn't because the sky is not just blue. It's
Yeah.
very it's a color. So
It
I like
depends
it there.
on the time of day, so light is so important for me when I'm doing blinging. I'm always looking for a light source and I'm always considering where's the source at. So if it's high, it's going to be really bright because it's early midday.
Mm-hmm.
If it's low, then you can think about maybe adding in some beautiful hues because it's getting to that point where it's almost twilight or it's look at you, boy, you got these screens. I got to go to your school.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm just working a
almost
little bit.
it's almost twilight, and you got those beautiful
Mm-hmm.
colors You know, you can see oranges, you can see yellows, you can, and it also depends on, you know, where you are. You know, are you on the southwest? Are you, you know, northeast? So you get to think about a lot when you putting in your own like kind of custom thought process to it.
Right.
Um,
And I think for me, because I've been sort of blinging just a normal canvas, right, with DAC, etc., it gave me sort of a picture in my mind on what I wanted to do on a blank canvas. So because I've been blinging on a canvas that has a picture and colors, etc., it made, I think for me, my opinion, it made it easier for me to work with a blank canvas, right? So Princess Tiana, here's what
woo,
she looks like now,
you
right?
getting far. Look at you.
That's what she looks like. And again, for me,
Y'all see my first butterfly.
there you go. I see it.
I was
See, I
at
told you.
so I'm starting page 3.
And sometimes you just have to trust the process,
That's
right?
true. Yep.
When I started putting drills down, I was like, oh, these drills are a little dull. But I just kept going. I
What
said,
I
I'm
was
like,
saying. That's exactly what I was saying. Like,
yeah.
oh,
I
I
said, I'm
think
going to trust the process,
yeah, I do
right?
think that that's true. Trust the process. But
Trust the
that's why I was
process.
like asking Tima, you know, like, what should I do? Because, yeah, the plain ones, they look
Hmm.
dull, especially when you adding, you know, but
But look how
I,
good it looks.
it does look good.
It
And it
does.
looks even better in person. Like, I walked in from a different angle, and at first I was concerned with too much bling for the background.
Hmm.
But I felt like I wanted to make the picture pop. So coming at this from a different angle, it was laying down on the table. I had it in a different room, diamond painting. I brought it back in here, and I was coming up towards it, and I noticed when it's laying there, it was popping the exact way that I thought it would. I don't know if you could see
Yes, it
it,
looks good.
but does it's standing out.
It looks good, yes. And you
The
know what it
resin is
is? You got
standing
to
out.
trust that process. And once you
Correct.
start putting more drills down, you start
Correct.
getting the picture. The picture starts to come up. And you're like,
I
oh, that
saw
looks
that and I was
good.
like, oh, that is looking good. Look at
I
that
love
butterfly
it.
standing out. So then I didn't feel so bad because before I was like, oh, what did I do? What did I
Plus, you
do?
love bling. So Tia
I
loves bling. So I could see you saying, because I did the same thing. I was like, oh, wait a minute. These
did.
drills look, because I started up here in this corner. And in this corner, I didn't really have a lot of bling there. And I said, let me just trust the process and keep going. Then once I start putting those crystals down, I said, oh, wait a minute. This is looking good. Okay. And
Exactly.
I tried something very different here, right? So what I tried was, for me, normally when I'm blinging, I design as I go. But what I did with this, I didn't do that. I designed my bling before I started the canvas. More kind of like what Cheryl and Tima does with their enhancement suggestions, right? Because one thing for me is if I have to go back, you know, you go on Tima's site and she's like, oh, list everything you put on. I was like, oh God, I gotta
Mhm.
remember. So I said, I'm gonna do something different. And it's actually working. And again, I looked at the picture for a very long time, right? So I stared at this picture for a very long time to figure out what I wanted to use, right? I figured out what I wanted to use. I know what I want to use in her dress. I know
Oh,
what I want to use down here. I know what I want to use to pop the frog out. And I know what I want to use in here. As soon as I look at that, I see 746 Crystal 8B. My head just has the colors in them, right? So I did that and I was like, all right, let me put it down on paper. And then I put it down on paper and then I started looking at the legend
your legend and stuff.
and it started replacing. So it worked out. And my thing is everybody's process is different,
It
right? You
is.
get what works for you. But I absolutely love it. And another thing I love about this too is I don't know what it is about. I'm using Markup RXP, which is on my iPad. So it's something about the iPad to the drills to the canvas. One, two, three. Just my brain just goes boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom. So
organization
it's
of it.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I said
Mhm.
to myself, you know what? I like this. And it's not that big. These canvases now are just like, wow, so big, huge. I love them, don't get me wrong. But sometimes I'm looking at them like, oh my gosh, I'll probably get that done around Christmas. But when I
Yeah.
see this, I'm like, oh, I can do 2 hours and have two more rows done, another two
Mhm.
hours. Right? I can see myself finishing it in a decent time. So, long story short, anybody that hasn't tried it and want to try it but may be afraid, don't be afraid. Just do it.
Just take a small one. I do think that it's a lot of fun. I think it initially is intimidating because there's nothing on there and you're worried about missing, one of the squares and messing it up. But the good news is for the conversion, it's just an erasure of the square. Erase the
Agreed.
square, start again. When you're doing an actual cross stitch, you got the frog, so
Mhm.
it's not as daunting as it looks. I think initially getting started is my first time doing a cross stitch conversion as well. And looking at a blank canvas, so
Sue Sue's in the house.
Hey, ladies.
the first time looking at it, it's a blank canvas, it looks huge. And then you're looking at the actual cross stitch with all of the squares. And that's my first mind. Ooh, if I make a mistake. But if you make a mistake, you just erase the, you know,
Pull
what do
it
you call
up.
it? Deselect. You deselect
Yep.
the square
Deselect.
and you start it again. So it's easier than a cross stitch,
It
mistake.
is. It
So
is. And if I could say one thing, because my tip for this week is, and I told you guys, I stared at this for hours over a course of a couple of weeks, right? Pay attention to your symbols too, because I have repeating symbols in my pattern, which is
that's hard.
very, which is very interesting. But because I have markup RXP, I can go to the repeating symbol and the right DMC is there. Because I'm like, wait a second, I think I just laid that one down. I don't remember that color. And I have a thing once I see it in my head, if it comes up again and it's different, I'm like, I can see that right away. So I was like, wait a second, this is the same symbol as over here. I went to mark up RXP. Although it's the same symbol, it's a different DMC. So what I did was only because it was a blue drill. And I'm like, wait a minute, a blue drill does not look right. And I'm going to show you guys because I left one. A blue drill does not look like it belongs right there. It's a blue drill there. That is blue. And I'm like, that don't look like it go there. And if it does, I'm going to replace it. But when I went in and I hit it, it's not a blue DMC. But I have two
Okay.
symbols that are the same. So
Oh,
I kept it there because I wanted to show you guys. So I have another symbol that repeats as well. And I'll go out and I'm going to give it to the person who is creatively stitching now the pattern just to let her know. Maybe she doesn't know, but I'll let her know. Like, hey, just want to let you know it's a repeating symbol. So that's something that you want to be mindful of too. But again, for me, blue didn't go there. And it stuck out in my head. I was like, wait a second. That don't go there. Why do I have a blue drill there? But I left it just to show you guys. So it's important to, as you're thinking about colors, as you're looking at, so I'm not one of those people that just drill. I pay attention. And I said, whoa. And oh, here's the other one. Here's the other one. So there's a blue drill here. That should not be there. It's right there.
wow.
And the other one, the repeating symbol is here. It's a rust color. You guys might not be able to see it, but it's not. I'm like, rust doesn't go there. That's all like a pea green in that area. And all of a sudden I got a rust drill, the drill that looks like what's in here. And it's because it's a repeating symbol. So I left it there because I wanted to show you guys. And again, I'm just looking at it as I'm doing it. And I'm like, oh, and this is what I do with any painting, even a painting that is not a blank canvas. If it don't look right, I'm like, oh, that color looks a little odd there. Let me trust the process for a little bit. I kept going. I didn't see no more blue and I didn't see no rust. They don't go there. So I will pick those out and I will put the drill. I went to mark up RXP. I went to that spot. And if you hit that spot, it will show you all the colors where they are on your particular canvas. And it wasn't that color. And the DMC is a green DMC. So again, it's important just to, make it look the way you want it to look. Hey, some people might like that and move on. That's fine too. That's fine too. But guess what, guys? We have our special guest in the house. Her name is Sue Bell, and let me go back. We're going to talk about her paintings for a second, but we're going to let Sue tell us where that name, the Bubble Queen, came from, because she is the Bubble Queen. Hashtag Bubble is our live giveaway word. So you guys, whenever you want, put hashtag Bubble in the comments. We'll be drawing. We got a little bit, but about another 20 minutes. But Sue, before we talk about your paintings, come on, baby. Let's talk about this Bubble Queen name. Where did that name come from?
It was actually, I think, a joke because I was talking to T-Mom
and I was showing her one of my paintings. I had put a bunch of bubbles in it, and I said, "I am the bubble queen." And so I was just like making a joke, and I said, "I'm the bubble queen because I use so many bubbles." So, anyways, T-Mall does not remember that story because I told her later on, I was like, "Do you remember me?" No, I'm like, I did. It started all with T-Mall because I was talking to her,
I
and
remember when you
like,
told me.
yeah, I said, "I'm the bubble queen because I know how to use these bubbles." So,
I remember that. So Sue and I have some very late night diamond painting sessions under our belt. And I can remember when we were talking about before we even started Ticket to Ride. Which one is it? Flora, Fuji Flora? I always
yeah,
forget the name.
Fuji Flora.
Right. And I remember you going over what bling you was going to use, and you was like, I think I'll put bubbles over here. I think I'll put some bubbles over here, some bubbles over there. I need to get me some bubbles, 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 bubbles. So when you said that name, I'm like, yep, that's fitting. That's fitting. That's the bubble queen. Definitely the bubble queen.
Because
So
we all bought the painting. Um, it's huge. And Sue's so dedicated. Thank you for doing that for us.
yes, yes. And we're gonna pull it up so you guys can see it. So which one you want to pull up? Want me to pull up first, Sue? Which painting
It,
you want to
it,
talk about
it
first?
doesn't matter either
All
or.
right. So
You
let me get it up for you guys so you can see it. Let's see. Make sure I pick the right thing. You guys don't want to see what's all the stuff I have up. Let's do this one first because I think this is the one that got you the bubble queen.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Now what we're gonna do is you guys see it here, but I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a closer look, right? So Sue, you can talk about what area, Sue, did you put bubbles in? Just talk us through it just a little bit. And I'm gonna put up another picture that gets a little bit closer.
So the bubbles in this one is all in the trees. In the green trees, I use Oasis, and then in the pink trees, I use
Orange.
so in that. So there's like a ton of bubbles in the trees, um, on both types of trees.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a little bit closer. But Sue, also before I get closer, talk about, see this sky, guys? Remember I said skies aren't just blue. And I love what Sue did with this sky. Tia, just like yours, I love what you did with the sky. Because if you look, you got all different hues of different colors. But from the back, it just looks like a beautiful blue sky going into maybe a rainbow type, or it might be like Sue's looks like it's getting a little dark or something. Talk about that sky, Sue. What did you do with those sky in the sky in the mountain?
Well, the mountain, I put I put a mixture of drills. If I have to recall like what I put there. I know I put some. I know there's an AB in there. There's some pixie dust in it, and there is a Oh God, now I'm drawing a blank.
I think did you put
Pearls
bubbles?
for
Did you put
square.
Luna?
There's pearls for square in there.
Pearls for squares. That's
Oh,
it. Let
Yep.
me get you guys. I'm gonna get it a little bit closer. Let me see something. Hold on for a second. I'm gonna actually copy and paste it. I'm gonna put it in Excel and I'm gonna blow it up. So stay with me real quick. So talk about your favorite bling. Like what's your go-to when you think about bling?
Well, it depends on what type of canvas I'm doing. I would say, like, if anything with landscape and there's trees or anything with trees in it, definitely going to be bubbles. But, like, say it's not got trees in it, then I would say the next go to is probably Pixie and Pearls for Square. I like both of those. And I
Yeah.
do like sparklers too. I use a lot of sparklers. So I don't know. All of it really. There's every painting. I usually have a little bit of everything in it.
Sue said, I like all of it. All right, I'm gonna save this down and I'm gonna open this up in
Because
Excel.
that one's got, I think, every type of drill in it.
It does. It does. So let me
I
see.
don't think I missed any type of. Well, okay, maybe the only one that might not. There's only one drill that's not in there, and that's the one with the gold glitter. There's no glitter drills in there.
No glitter?
No glitter drills. No.
Okay.
So
Marlon
that's the
said,
only thing that's not in that one.
Marla says her favorite now is pixie dust, sparklers, and slivers. So I
Yeah.
do see that a lot of people are falling in love with pixie dust sparklers. So
I love pixie. I love pixie dust. I love it. I replace all ABs with pixie dust. All right, so now I got this in Excel. Let me save it, and I'm gonna
I
get
have
you
to
guys.
try them. I haven't been as fond of ABs. I just like how their how their effect works when they're butted up against either a crystal or crystal and sparkler. But like to enhance with an AB, which is obviously what you started to see the diamond painting companies do. They were like, let's get in on helping enhance. So they
Mm-hmm.
started adding the ABs. But I don't, have a fondness for them. I just like their effect when they're butted up against something else.
Gotcha. All right, this doesn't lack. Well, I can't do this one yet, only because of some security for my job. But no worries, I'll get to another one. Let's talk about this one for a second too, because this one I absolutely love. I love what you did with the book, right?
Yeah.
That book.
Somebody that I know suggested that, because I was going to go, I was
What?
going the same color, but I was going to go with some different sparkler mix. And you were like, no, these three. So you got to do these three. So I was like, okay. And
I
actually, I'm
knew you were
glad
gonna
that I
say that.
listened to you because it came out really good.
I loved it. As soon as I saw the painting, as soon as I saw it, that book just popped out at me.
It
It
does.
popped out, and those colors just came to my head. It just came to my head. And I didn't want to, when you were telling me what you're going to use, I didn't want to say, how about this, Sue? But it just came out. And it looks it looks exactly the way I pictured it in my head.
I
I love
do like that. Hmm.
Yeah.
I
it.
like when a painting has depth, like the painting before, where we could see your trees, the Fuji flora. Um, your trees, they look like they're standing out on the canvas,
Yeah.
just like this sun. This sun is standing out
Yes.
against the background of the canvas. What did you do to outline it?
Um, God, you guys were asking me like,
I
so
think we use girls for squares. Gold.
I, I
Oh,
yeah, and then there's I'm I believe there's a pixie around it too. I
Yeah.
just replaced like from whatever it called for. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of made sure that the two would be good beside each other. So because on the outer really is a green, which was surprising, and I didn't want to take that away because I think it looks really good because like
And
looking
I love it.
at close is it really looks nice.
Yep. This was
I left
another
everything
one.
else in the moon the same. I just did the outer edge, and that was it.
Now take a look at this here. I
wow.
love what you did here. We're gonna go back to the other painting too. I love what you did here. I love this.
Well, because see, those are star jars, and I wanted the star jars to look like star jars, like sparkly, like the actual stars are in there. So
Mhm.
I used the pineapple glow glass in there. I think there's an AB in there. It's a variety of drills in there, but
Now,
it came
Sue, we
out
got a question. We
when
got a
I
question for you. Do you lay your bling first, or do you just diamond paint section by section?
diamond paint section by section. I don't do that.
So that's where Sue and I differ. I know I was doing one painting, the Michelangelo painting, and Sue's like, "Can you finish that thing already?" But I had spots open here, because I lay my bling first. She's like, "Well, you just sit down and just finish that thing." But that's what happens with me sometimes because I might be working on one section and I'm like, "Oh, you know what? I want to do this over here." So I'll just jump around the canvas. But that's when I'm working on one canvas. If I'm working on multiple canvases, I try to keep it contained so I'm able to roll it up or move it out the way without having all these sections exposed. But this, Sue, is gorgeous. Gorgeous.
So, like, where I differ from you too is I have a game plan. Like, I've written it all out. I already know what I'm doing. I've written all the codes out, what I'm swapping it with. So I'm already got a plan where it's going to go. And write all that down. Like, in the mushrooms, I'm putting X, this is going
Mm-hmm.
in the mushroom and this is replacing this in the mushroom or this is replacing this in the jar. And I just roll and I just go. I start one corner and go. And I don't. If I did the bling first, I think I would be too lost, confused. I just roll with it.
How
And like
about you, Tia?
canvas I'm working on right now that I'm blinging, I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing it even more completely different. I kind of didn't really plan out much. I'm planning as I go, and I'm dropping the drills as I go, and just going, you know what, I'm going to do this with it, and I'm just going to roll with it. We're going to see what it ends up with. There's no really a lot of planning, and after I've done what I did on a section, then I start writing down what I just did, so I know what I did. But I I'm experimenting, because that's what really all this is about, is really
Mm-hmm.
experimenting. There's no right way, there's no wrong way of
Right.
how you want to bling. you know um and even when you think that something might not look good, it actually will probably turn out to be looking pretty good.
I agree. I agree. There's no right or wrong way. It's just how you're
Right.
feeling. How about you,
For
Tia?
me, it's it depends on the canvas in and of itself. So I'm able to maybe just jump right in when it comes to a landscape, because those have been traditionally just the canvas that I prefer to do the most. But when the portraits, I started out just sprinkling bling in the portraits. And then I wanted to enhance clothing. And then, like with Wonder Woman, I wanted to show depth. I wanted to show that that belt that she wears around her waist,
Mm-hmm.
that it looked like we placed it into the canvas. So I call that showing depth. If you scroll up on her trees at the top, when she first showed me, obviously it was before the canvas was completed. But when she first showed me some of the things she was doing, you can look right here at this angle, and these leaves look like they're coming through. That's depth to me. That doesn't look like a 2D flat surface painting. It looks like, oh, how do you get those things coming out? They look like they're about to fall out of that painting. That's depth. And so that's what, the right kind of bling. She started using bubbles, and I put them in my Wonder Woman painting, but I put them in the belt.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have an area yet that I could say that I felt comfortable where these would work. And so when Sue sent me snippets of her painting, God, that had to be what, January or February. I was like, oh, because I have a ton of bubbles. And when I was like, oh, all my landscapes, I know exactly what to do with them. She tried some on tips of
Mm-hmm.
branches, near stem, and it just made a world of difference.
Yeah,
And so,
bubbles are fun.
mhm,
I think my first experiment with bubbles was in Saint.
okay,
So I use bubbles in the what I call barrettes in
hmm,
the hair on Saint, as well as in the water and in the trees in Saint. So my first experiment with bubbles, and I know it's not, you can't really see it from here, but in here it's like barrettes. These are all bubbles, and all in the water are bubbles. That was my first experience with bubbles, and up in here, and they were fun. They were fun because it's something about them that just it brings it out. It kind of gives you movement and it makes things look like they're like coming toward you.
yeah,
So, and
yeah,
I love what Sue did here
yes.
with this here. I love this whole thing here from a distance. I love it. Everything in here.
Yep.
I love it. It just looks like it's
And you know what makes it really
flowing.
better is, like, I didn't do nothing with the fencing there, but when you
Mhm.
look at it in reality, like looking at it in person here, it looks like I done something to the fence, like I put bling in there and I didn't.
Well, it looks good because you didn't do
It's
anything.
bringing it out. That's even bringing that out more.
Right, exactly. So you
Bling
don't
from
have
other stuff.
you don't have to blink everything, but it
Yeah,
looked good. And those
That's what we-
colors are nice and vibrant.
yeah.
Nice and vibrant. And that's it. Again, as you're blinging more, as you're getting more experience with bling, you kind of figure out, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I don't need to bling that part, but I could bling this part. And like I said, take it off if it doesn't look right. My first painting that I really experimented with bling was a crafted bling, the language of flowers.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll show that the next time. And I didn't bling a lot. I had that coral reef. And that's the time where I took out all the bling that I was acquiring because I was just buying Tmos monthly sets. And like I said, they were at $28 plus tax. So it was like $32 a month. And I just pulled them all out. I think I had acquired them for about a year. And coral reef just stuck out to me. And I was like, oh, I like this color. So I get caught up in colors. Like when I was young, if you give me a box of crayons, I would mix the crayons on the paper until I got colors that I like. I would shade like a light pink, and then I would do like blue swivels in it. I feel the same way when I'm doing diamond painting. I do the same thing. I used to mess the crayons up, but it was fun. It was
I
fun.
can see you doing that. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, and then this look at this walkway, right? And that walkway didn't do much to it. You didn't
But it's
probably do
standing
anything
out.
to it, but it
It's
looks
standing
good.
out because of the carefully selected other areas
Other areas.
where bling was essential. It helps that pathway stand out the way
I
that
love
it's
it.
supposed to because she highlighted the others. I do like the contrast between that walkway and then what she did with these plants and things on the ground.
Right? It's gorgeous. And then you got that little panda hanging out right there.
Yeah.
Right? First, you don't even see him. I was like, oh, there he is. But it's just so much fun. I love what you did. And then what you did over here to this, that came out really good. It just looks good. And it doesn't even, in person, it looks amazing. Amazing, amazing. The video, amazing. So again, and Sue, you'll send me that video because I'll show everybody. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and pull up Tia's video that she sent me to see if we can play that. So you guys just kind of talk.
Observe the skin tone. Just observe the skin tone. That's really probably going to stand out when you guys see the video.
So you guys just give me a second. I'm going to pull it up and then share screen. Oh, it's a TikTok. It's on TikTok?
I think, yeah.
Oh, so that, oh my god, and it has music. Hold on. Can you hear the music?
Yeah,
Yes.
me too.
You heard it? Oh, look at that. Okay.
Jamming.
It's free. It was free.
I love it. All right, hold on. I'm going to put it back to 0.
I tried to, make it a movement.
Let me share it first and then I'll hit play. So you guys hold tight for a second. Oh my gosh, it looks good already. Let's see. TikTok. So TikTok will be in a window. All right, let me turn this player off. I don't need that. Okay, here we go. All right, guys. Let's see. Let me hit play. See if you guys get it.
It's not in the screen yet. Oh, there we go.
Start over. Let's start over from the beginning. You guys see this from the beginning. All right, here we go.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. So shine bright tonight. You and I. You're beautiful like diamonds in the sky.
Oh my God, Tia, I love it.
I loved working on it to the very last second. That is how a diamond painting should make you feel.
Oh my God, that's
I'm
gorgeous.
shocked that she finished one.
That is gorgeous.
That was
I'm just
before
teasing
I
you,
became
Tia.
a serial starter. So that
Okay.
July of
It is
20, I became a serial starter starting at the end of 2022. Right around the time when I started really like focusing on the pins and things.
I love it. So
I was starting for this.
It made me want to cry for a minute. That's how.
So
that's
that
how beautiful it is.
painting,
That
that
painting
was
is
amazing
gorgeous.
from start to finish. It was so much fun. I had 15 colors of bling in there. We did a collab. A lot of people, they actually did the same exact canvas, and many of them had the same. I think they were doing 4 or 5 colors. I went hog wild and put 15 different blings in there. So if you see on the dress, I went with a lot of silver and pewter as opposed to it was just like gray resin, different types of gray resin. Even in the ruffles of the skirt, I went with, I think, 3844s, 3846, and some crystals. So I had sparklers and crystals again, so it can observe the light as it's moving. This was before bubbles came out, before pixie dust and things. This is 2021. And
Before
so
metallics. It was
before
before
metallic,
metallics.
because I think I would have gone with the new that onyx
Mm-hmm.
sparkler. I would have liked to have outlined some things in there. The little tiger, obviously I put sparkle in the coat as well as in the eyes. The hardest part was I did like the skin tone. A lot of people noticed that right away because she did a 754, which is like a really peachy, you know, it's definitely not anything with skin tone to it. So I had downloaded the skin tone chart and looked for the shadowing because they'll show you the main primary. They'll show you two shadow colors. But on the same skin tone chart was the makeup, and I didn't understand the makeup portion of it. I do now, but at the time, and so I wish that I had done a more subtle, skin on the cheeks and
It's gorgeous, Tia. You
I
did
did
a great job on it. Just looking at it behind you, it is absolutely
snow. Yeah,
gorgeous.
I wanted the snow to stand out. There was there was like I think 3 or 4 ABs that had came with it, and snow was one of them. But that was back when we all had a love affair with frost, and so I have a lot of frost in the painting. I love frost. That was like my
I
all-time
love frost.
favorite.
Yes.
So
Gorgeous.
I just had a
Somebody's trying to
ball.
sneak into the picture here.
I see him. Hey there, Lee. Lee's in the house. Well, here's what we're going to do right now, guys. We're going to go over. Everybody put in hashtag bubble because we have the bubble queen in the house. Bubble queen with Princess Tia. All right. So everybody put in hashtag bubble. And Lee's trying to give us some magic trick. We're going to do that when we come back, Lee. We're going to do a giveaway right now. All right. So all my giveaways are surprise giveaways. So far, I haven't had anyone come back and say, what in the world is this? So they're pretty fun. So we're going to do a giveaway for everyone in the live. So everybody in the live, get your hashtag bubble in. We'll give it 2 minutes. Berta. We have Berta in the house? I don't think I didn't see Berta. But we have Berta in the house. So like Beetlejuice. Berta. Hey, Berta, how are you?
Is she in here?
She's been on sabbatical. She's in here now. We have Cynthia again in the house. Hey there, Cynthia. Cynthia was our live participation winner for our last live.
Mm-hmm.
She should be, if she doesn't have her stuff, she should be getting it real soon.
Getting it, yeah.
That's right. Hey there, Berta. So again, my tip to everybody is just have fun. Right? Sue would tell you, have fun. We talk about bling. Me and Sue, listen, Michaelina is monochromatic. She just has all browns. I put pink in her. I gotta bring some pink in. I put like 4 or 5 different color pinks and quad cubes and metallics. It is what it is, and just have fun with it. And for me, it was one section on the canvas I just couldn't wrap my brain around. I didn't like it. And Sue's like, leave it, move on. And everybody, when they look at it, they say that painting is so beautiful. And my eye goes to that one section. I'm like, I don't know what to say. But again,
I've been here.
I would not leave that painting alone.
That's
No,
how
she would not. And
with
I was like, look, you need to finish that. We've got stuff to do this year. And you messing around with this, like she was ready to start lifting. No, it looks
that's how you
fine.
end up like me,
And she's
girl.
like, but no. And I'm like, no, you need to let that go. You got to let this one go this time. Just this time. Let it go.
Happens, though. Like you get to a point in a canvas. I'm usually pretty much done. But you get to a point in a canvas where, a certain area is just drawing focus, or, it's hard to get past, that particular point. You want it done or something. But yeah, I have 7 whips. I'm not afraid to,
That's
I think
right.
what occurred is they got bigger, I really think
Actually,
that's
not even that bad because if I be honest, I probably have the same amount that's sitting that I have not finished.
Oh my goodness.
So, and you be one of the ones getting on me, so you supposed to be my buddy. What happened?
But I get stuff done though. Like when's
have
the last one you've completed now?
I didn't complete it, but Rhonda did for me.
All right, I'm going to open up a
I'm
new.
just messing with you, Tia. You know it's all about love.
That's
There.
right. So you guys hold tight. I'm going to open up a new Streamway giveaway tool so we can do
So
our
like,
giveaway. But guess what? My whole thing is if you're not getting joy in the one that you're working on, move over, start another one.
Yeah, I
Right?
well,
agree with that.
like my only like big thing or
Marla.
suggestion when I tell people about blinging, it's like you don't like I help somebody decide like help them bling what they're gonna bling in this painting. And it, and we only are gonna add like she's gonna only gonna add like 4 things in it. Because I was like, let's keep this, this is your first one. Let's keep it small, and let you get a little experiment with it, and see how this is gonna come out. And I made, so like you could go here and do some more right here. Gave her some more suggestions. I said, but leave it like simple. So like
That's
I
right.
tell everybody, like start small. Don't be like my first one was not doing that big one. Like I did a little bit of stuff, and I would like call Rochelle, and I'd be like, I don't know if I like this. And then Rochelle would look, she was like, see, that looks really good. But I was like,
Yep.
no, I don't know if I like this or not. And she's like, no, it looks really good. And then I'd leave it, I'm like, okay, then maybe it does look better than I think it does. And actually, she was right. It does look good. Once you get everything going and looking at it, from a distance, like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, that looks really good.
And it did. Every single time you say, I don't know. I'm like, no, that looks good. Leave it. Leave it.
Yeah.
It's fine. It looks good. And I wouldn't say that if it didn't. I'll be like, that might be a little too dark there. But it did. Every time it looked
Yeah.
good. And again, it's just kind of like, even for me, I'm like, I don't know about that. And Sue's like, no, leave it alone. It looks good. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go with it. So it's just trial and error and practice. And you just keep moving. And if something don't look right, take it up. There's nothing wrong with it. Like the one I'm working on now for Howl at the Moon DP event, hosted by Erica, Kevin's wife, on Facebook. I love it. I love it. And I designed the bling before I started, and it is coming out amazing. The colors are just so amazing, right? Because I'm used to doing
working faster since it's not a
it
blank.
just makes me only want to work on that painting.
Yeah, I
I'm
figured.
like, man, I gotta move it over. I don't want to.
In my Howl at the Moon canvas, I'm blinging it, and I'm figuring the bling as I go, and I'm just throwing. Like I decided I'm going to take this number, this symbol, and I'm going to replace it with this, and I'm rolling with it. Wherever it's at, I'm just going to roll with it. I'm just experimenting this time, and I'm just like going to go with it.
Yeah.
There's certain things I do want to do, and I'm keeping. I told Michelle that we're going to stay with, because she did 10. Because this is a big canvas too. Like hers is a big canvas. So I'm like 10. I'm not going to go more than 10 blank. And I'm being, so there's things I wanted to do because somebody didn't release their bubbles this week. So I was like, okay, forget it. I ain't doing that. I'm just.
And you guys know, before we go to the giveaway, we use DP with sparklers, and it's linked in the. I have to flip it, but it's linked in the description. And everybody has their choice on where they want to go, and that's fine. I use all my enhancements are from DP with sparklers, and I love it. I love it. Well, so let's do this giveaway.
Even Tima admitted on Saturday night that she didn't release the bling that she was telling me she was going to release, the bubbles. That's the first thing that came out of her mouth when she seen me. Like, yeah,
she's like, "Oh, Sue,
release those bubbles for Sue. We didn't get to it, Sue. I'm so sorry." And she even messaged me before her live, telling me she was sorry.
Well, there you go.
Can you guys can see giveaway tool. I'm going to start collecting comments, and let's see who our winner is going to be. So we have 8. All right, so we're going to draw. We ready? Here we go. No,
how you?
I know. I meant to take my name out. Just wait. Everybody, just wait. Everybody, just wait.
Rig. I didn't even put my name in. Rig.
No, that's wrong. Because I should have never put #bubble in there. Judith!
Yay, Judith!
All right, Judith. Sorry about that, guys.
I thought that was funny.
Look, I
you win your own prize.
Too prepared. So again, congratulations, Judith. Again, everybody in the live gets a chance to win. Judith is actually one of our participants that is actually doing a canvas as well. So that's double sweet. So
So I
congratulations.
actually am going to do my canvas too. I'm just waiting for the bling to come in. I have ordered it because I actually decided I am going to bling one thing in it. It's only going to be one bling thing in it. So I'm waiting for that bling to come in.
You got, and look, Tia is showing Judith one of her gifts that she is actually has won for tonight. So Judith, today you get a Palm Pow pen. That's one of your gifts, and you'll also be getting a package from me as well. All right. So now before we go, I just want to show you guys one thing. So one thing that I do, let me stop sharing this here. One thing I do when people ask me about bling and if I can help them with a bling design, I say, well, how many colors do you want to replace? You want to replace 1 to 3, 4 to 6, above 6. I try to keep it within 8 replacement, depending on the person. If they say, oh, I got all this stuff, and I'll say, well, what do you have? What colors do you have? And I try to stay within their colors. But if they don't know, what I try to do is just give them a little piece of how I design bling. And the way I design bling is as soon as I see the picture. So I'll say, send me the picture. So I'll show you guys real quick. I'll say, send me the picture. Let me take a look at it. And let me go back to see if I have one of the pictures in here. And then once you send me the picture, let me just open it up before I share screen. I can get an idea. And what I try to do is give a little bit of how my brain works for me, meaning here's what I see, because this is what I do for myself. I would pull up the canvas on my iPad, my computer, and I mark off where I want to bling. And I mark it off with the color that I want to add. So it might be a color in that family. It might not be exactly red, but it might be something that gives you a red tint. But this is what I do. This is the first thing that I do. I'll say, here's where I want to bling. My eyes go right here, right away. They go up here, this flower here, the hair, all the hair, the eyelashes, the fish, and this little like top of her scales, right? The top of like a little skirt. That's just what I saw right away. And then what I say is I think about colors that I like, bling that I like, sparklers that I like that give you those colors. And then I'll send a list of colors. So that's what I did for this person. And she was in the chat the last time. And it took me all but, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes. And then it took me another 20 minutes to think about colors that are common that you can get on the site. Because we all got different things, but you want to try to get something that's like a common, something you can go right to the site and you can get, like, pixie here or a neon, or you can do like a 3078 or a 742. I try to think of colors that are like 209 that are on the site. Like I go on the site first on dpwithsparklers.com and I get colors that I know are there. And then I'll send it back. And I think I picked like 6 colors for this painting. So I can't wait, maybe 7. I can't wait to see how this painting turns out because I think it's beautiful by itself. It's a beautiful painting, right? And when I see black, I think pixie, or I think black diamond, or I think raven. Those are just
raven.
Those are colors that I've used, right? Or I think gunmetal. But it's just a mixture. I think about that because for me, 310s, resin 310s, you need them because they make everything else pop. So I try not to replace too many resin 310s because they pop. I'll just add other things with it. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of how I think, right? How I think about bling. And like I said, then I get my iPad, I open it up and I put down my replacements. And that's what I do for every canvas. So if you guys haven't had a chance and you want to get a little bit more into sort of my bling design, I do have a video out on my YouTube, which is the Howl at the Moon Kit Up 2, right? Kit Up 1 is just me kitting up late night. But Kit Up 2 is me designing the bling and kitting up and talking about where I'm going to put the bling, pulling the bling out and laying it on the canvas, because that's what I do. I have the canvas out, I pull those bling colors out and I lay them on the canvas. And I'm like, yep, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to use. So that's what I did for the painting that I'm working on. So I'll show you guys that as I progress. But that's just my thought process. But I've been using the colors for so long. I feel like they're just in my head. And I can't get it out sometimes. I'm like, oh, I got to put that there. I got to put that there. But again, having a stash makes it easier too. And you don't have to start big. You can get small amounts, right? You can get those starter kits. Those starter kits have 5 or 6 different types of drills in them. And you can might be 2 types with 5 or 6 colors that can blend together. And it's really helpful. So my tip is play around. It doesn't hurt anything and have fun. Tia, any last words before we go to sleep?
I got a tip too.
Yeah, well, go ahead, Sue.
Go ahead, Sue. You go.
I got a tip. Like my tip would be, so like for some people, like money could be the issue. So if money's the issue, because that you can go on Amazon and they sell, like for example, they sell crystals and they sell them pretty reasonable. So you can get a big selection of crystals at a fairly reasonable price. So that could be like a start place for you, is to get something like that. So it's not so much breaking the budget, and then going on to DP with sparklers and getting some of the other things that you need that would fill in for so you wouldn't spend as much in the long run, because sometimes bling is it starts to add up quick.
So you get it in moderation. And see, and what I did was I stopped buying diamond paintings for 6 months.
Yeah.
And I didn't buy diamond paintings. I bought bling. Everybody's different. So budget is important. So depending on your budget and how you want to buy. But I stopped buying diamond paintings. I went to bling. I stopped buying bling. I went to trays. Then I went back to bling. So that's just how I did. Like now, I'm not buying diamond paintings. I'm just at that point. Everybody, we all change. You know how we get. But I still buy my bling, right? I still get my bling. I get the new bling that comes out, but I get the new bling that comes out that's in the colors that I like. I don't get it all. Like I love sparklers, right? And every time I buy a new one, metallic green, I throw one of my go-tos, original sparklers with it. It's just how I do it. And then coral reef, one of my go-tos. Champagne, one of my go-tos. Do I need champagne right now? No, but champagne, coral reef, metallic, and original sparklers, right? For me, $20. But and then you gotta pay shipping, of course. But everybody's different, right? So it's just depending on what you want. And I don't care what anyone says. You can put an original sparkler with anything, and it will have your painting looking beautiful.
That's what I'm doing right now.
You can use original sparkler with anything. If you're not sure what to get, original sparkler. You cannot go wrong. Can't go wrong. And have fun with it. All right, what you got, Tia?
Pretty much the same thing that you guys were saying. Make it fun. I know that when I started out, it was just to sprinkle some sparkle. I wanted, more shine. I noticed that there is a old concept that round drills offered a little bit more sparkle than the squares. And I had a preference for squares because I did landscapes, and mostly all landscapes at that point were square. Now, the facets are just more brilliant. I think they're doing a different process or what, but the facets all are just more brilliant. You see sparkle whenever you lay down. So how do you enhance that? Start off sprinkling, sprinkle a few sparkles, even if they aren't the same color. Sprinkle something that's going to just add some shine in the background, in large, color block areas of your canvas. Sprinkle something. And that will grow your appreciation off the bat for just looking at something shiny and sparkly, because that's what caught all of our attention in the first place. We see a diamond plate. Oh, that looks fun. Oh, that's pretty. Look at that sparkle. Oh, ah. So how do you get the ooh, ah effect now that everyone is interested in blinging and everyone sees what they can do to customize it? Start off just kind of sprinkling a little of your own personality. What colors mean the most to you? What colors do you like? There's a sparkler for it. Is there a pixie dust for it? Is there a glow glass for it? And then, see where it can take you. When you experiment, it gives you ideas and sets up your next canvas. So that's what I would recommend. Just sparkle. Just sprinkle a little sparkle. Y'all heard that here first.
That's right.
I was gonna say, yeah, keeping track of what you do, writing it down, because you can use it again. Because the color palettes are a lot of times same, and even though it might be a different artist, different painting, but some of the color palettes are the same. So you're like, oh, like this gold that I use, I'm going to use that gold again in
That
something
will look
else.
great here.
Trust me,
Absolutely.
That
it
will
will
look great
be
here.
used again. And like knowing what you did is a good thing. And I just use my notes on my phone and I write everything down there. So because I always have my phone, I don't have to worry about looking for a notebook or whatever. It's always in my hand, you know, like I can get up my phone in a second.
That's right. So we're going to do one more thing and then we're going to go out with a bang. And Marla, no, I did not do that painting. Someone reached out to me after one of the lives I did and asked me if I could give some tips for bling for that painting. And those were the tips I gave. So again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me. I have like colors in my head that I can, you know, help with trying to bling out canvases. But again, Tmall has enhancement suggestions. You don't have to buy the product, but it gives you an idea because the enhancement suggestion is free. You can go look at it. You can look at the product. You can look at the symbols that she's replacing, and it can give you an idea. So I would highly suggest, you know, take a look at that because it can help with bling. So we're going to do one more thing. We got Brian on the wheel this week. We're going to do our progress post giveaway right now. And then I'm going to say goodbye to everybody so you guys enjoy your Sunday. All right. And then my husband's kind of quiet in there, so the Buffalo Bills must have won because he was going nuts earlier. All right, so let me shuffle. Let's shuffle a few times.
My Lions are playing tonight. You gonna watch?
I'm gonna watch too. Yes, he was going nuts earlier. It was 17-0. He was losing his mind. I was like, listen, I got a live in a couple minutes. He was like, I don't care. All right, here we go, guys.
Oh, your husband.
Boop, boop, boop.
There we go, Robin. Congratulations, Robin. So we got Judith and Robin this week. Congratulations. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming in. And don't forget, have fun and keep trying to bling it up. All right, we'll see you guys the next time. Bye.
I was gonna say one last thing. If anybody else needs help, I'll help.
Go ahead,
I'll help
Sue.
out too. So just message me.
Sue will help out as well. So just message Sue Bell. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you the next time. Bye.
Bye.